Education, education, education. Hello, welcome to In the Armchair. Today we're going to be talking about the final film in the Small Axe series. It's entitled Education. Before we get into that though, please don't forget to like, comment, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. It really does help me out on YouTube. The film opens up with me, Kingsley. He's at the planetarium. Side note, I used to love the London planetarium when it was around. He's into astronomy. It then transitions to him at school. He has to read out loud and we find out that he can't read. It then shows him causing a nuisance in a music lesson. He gets kicked out. This all leads to him being in the headmaster's office and being told he's being sent to a special school. So this focuses on institutional racism because it turns out a lot of black kids were being sent to these special schools. One of the key things it focuses on is the IQ test and how it is actually favored towards white people. So this was a problem back in the 70s, but it was a mess even when I was in school in the late 90s, early 2000s. On my school, we had something called the LSU, which was the Learning Support Unit. It was essentially a separate building where naughty kids were separated from the classroom. Thankfully, I never went there, but a lot of my close friends were in and out of there all the time, and it was a bit like a jail. Work never got done. It was just a complete madness inside there from what people used to tell me. Aside from my personal experience, I'm going to focus specifically on the film and the feelings I got from it. I could make a 20-30 minute video getting into the politics of the educational system and how black people have been treated unfairly, but I'm going to focus on the movie. So let's start with the good parts. The production design, brilliant, fantastic. Just like every single other movie within the Small Axe series, you really get transported back to this time and place. Kingsley's house, there were certain elements that reminded me of my granddad's house. When I go and see him today, I was like, this is just so familiar. He hasn't really changed his house much since he came here in the 50s. Aside from that, I thought the emotional heart of the film was brilliant. There are scenes that really make you feel sad. It really makes you feel sorry, not just for Kingsley, but his entire family. And lastly, that leads me on to the acting, which was good once again. It was nothing out of this world like we've seen in some of the other episodes, but there were solid performances throughout. I believed every single character. Now, unfortunately, that's as far as it goes. The primary issue with the movie comes down to its lack of depth and context. We're never shown the big picture. We're only shown one scene of him struggling to read and him causing a nuisance, and then he's sent to the special school. But I don't actually know whether there was more to it than that, whether he was really disruptive, whether he wasn't really intelligent. You could have just shown me one scene of him doing, I don't know, maths or something, or science, or just being academic in some way. So that's left open to us. I understand that Stephen Queen's probably trying to say, look, based on this one thing, he's being sent to this school. But I would have just liked a bit more context there. And this is a reoccurring theme throughout the series, and it's just not good enough. There was no semblance of any timeline. We don't know how long he was in this educationally subnormal school for. Was he there for a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months? We're not told any of that information. So the impact that has is makes me not care because I don't understand the full implications of this situation. When his mum first finds out that he's being shipped out to this other school, she's angry. It's like, what do you mean that he's going to a special school and all of this stuff? But then it's kind of like she slips into, oh, it's okay, he's doing good. Now again, Stephen Queen might be trying to say that she was working so much she didn't have time to spend to find out what's happening with her kid's school. But it doesn't actually make sense because there's a scene where she's being told that the school is just a madness basically, and she's like, no, it's a good school. And it's like, hold on, you either know that the school is bad but you just don't have time to sort it out, or you don't know anything about it at all. And so when someone's telling you it's bad, your reaction wouldn't be, no, it's good, what are you talking about? That didn't make any sense. It made her character seem like she was flip-flopping. I'm not buying the excuse of she was overworked. There's some principles that she appeared to have towards the end which weren't consistent throughout the movie. Kingsley's sister reads the booklet about the school and she seems genuinely concerned, but then she just disappears in the second half of the movie, And it's almost like she doesn't care anymore. Now, that may have happened. That may be a real life situation. But I would want to see scenes of her speaking to the mum, trying to make her realize this school is not good. She went from actually caring to just going along with it. And again, Steve McQueen, that may be the message he was trying to send. But to me, it wasn't executed very well. To me, that was a bit of a lazy way of getting around the topic. She went from being very worried to very comfortable with no explanation shown. There's not much else to say about this. The plot was simple, like much of the other movies within the Small Axe series. It's meant to show a snapshot of British history within the Caribbean community, and I'm thankful that the institutional racism within the educational system has been highlighted. But once again, it's a case where the glass is half empty. We're never given the complete story. We don't know what happened to Alex. Was he there for a year? Was he there for 2 years? Did he end up being there for the whole of his education? We don't know what happened with the group of people that were actually trying to make a change. Did they manage to overturn it? How long did it take them to overturn it? How did they go about doing that? Those are the things which I would have been interested in. Those were the things that would give you the motivation. I don't want to just see a sad story and there's no highlight, when I know in terms of the history there had to have been changes made. So show me some of those highs. It doesn't need to be so bleak all of the time. I don't mind you telling me a bleak story, but then show me the outcome of that story. And that's what was missing here. I'm not interested in a quick snapshot of something with no consequence and no meaning. And once again, this left me with a sour taste in my mouth. 2 stars. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and watch some other videos.